welcome to this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najib, along with
Lennice Najib.
And we're at our closing ceremony. We're closing out our Black History Month ceremony, and we're closing it out here in Hanford, California.
Yes, one thing I noticed by Hanford is a very warm feeling coming here, and we getting a lot of love and welcome here. And it was an excellent program that we was here to film.
And we get to tell people about it, or actually show you, not tell you. You get to watch an excerpt of what happened here in Hanford, as well as our last remaining Black History Month celebration events that took place. We did have the Wall of Honor in Fresno, and that's hosted by the State Center Community College District, and it was hosted by them and held at the African American Historical Culture Museum of the San Joaquin Valley. We also got to go to the Southern California Edison Black History Month celebration in Tulare, California. And so we want to be able to tell people about that event. In fact, the banner behind us is from that event. And finally, we got to close it out right here in Hanford, California, yes, honoring some of those trailblazers from the Valley and also from Hanford, California, right here. And letting people know a little bit about when we look at Dr. Carter G. Woodson,
yes,
and he was the founder of this Black History Month that we have. It started off with Negro Week. Started off with just 1 week.
One thing we noticed, a lot of people don't know too much about what he contributed and the history of it. Normally, as they mentioned in this event before, we celebrate Black history every day, 365 days a year. So to honor this day with Carter G. Wilson is a privilege.
And it's been a privilege to honor the entire month by a multitude of diverse people. And that's what's important for people to understand, that everyone's history, when we're celebrating the different months and those different cultures that are right here in the very San Joaquin Valley, we are celebrating that American spirit. That is the America that we are all a part of. And
well, a lot of people don't understand or relate to the history of African Americans. They just see what they're looking at now and say, well, how are they like that and why are they like that? Mm-hmm. But there's a reason, and
there was struggle.
And
there was 400 years of slavery. There was overcoming racism.
Yes.
There was civil rights. So there's a lot to
segregation,
learn.
You know.
Segregation,
so.
Jim Crow laws, and
Racism.
These were legal. Yeah, those were legal laws put on by our Americans right here in the United States. And so that's something for everyone to learn about. Mm-hmm. When you're looking at the culture, and people wonder, why do we study Black History Month? That's so that you, the viewer, can be able to learn about everyone's history. And better yet, people are able to learn about cultural roots right here in the Valley.
Yes.
And that's what I enjoyed. We started off with the Trailblazer, and we got to end with the Trailblazers here in the South Valley. So I think that was the most exciting for me. And I guess we'll start off with that Wall of Honor event. And, you know, as people are looking at excerpts of that, mm-hmm, and we were able to get a few excerpts from the State Center Community College District. As you see there, the president, Richard Caglia of the State Center Community College District Board of Trustees. And the honorees were Larry D. Dixon, otherwise known as Uncle Larry, mm-hmm, Dr. Helen Hubbard, and Dr. Brian O. I'm not going to, I stood up there and I kept practicing his name, I was so mad at myself. But I apologize for that, Dr. O, but he's otherwise known as Dr. O. And so those are the Wall of Honor trailblazers that are featured at the African American Museum.
One thing about being in the Wall of Honor, pictures on the wall, you go in there, you watch it, and you see prestige, you see the past history of the Wall of Honor. So, just visit the museum and you can watch and view the pictures.
And so what you're going to be watching after the break is the keynote speaker, and this was at the Southern California Edison Black History Month celebration in Tulare, California, this past week that we had. And the keynote speaker was Tyrone Wilson, and he's a deputy district attorney out of the county of Santa Clara.
Yes.
His story is so compelling. I don't want to tell you much about it, but it's one of those stories that relates to a lot of people. If you ever thought that you could not be someone or be someone great because of your circumstances, then you're definitely going to have to listen to what Tyrone Wilson had to say.
One thing I noticed, I didn't know he was talking about himself.
Yes,
when
a lot of people
didn't
know. So. Don't give it away, don't give it away. So you're going to have to watch that excerpt because it was a powerful moment. Even the audience was so surprised and shocked. And I believe the hosting of that, or the MC with that, was Jessica Porter, CBS 47 news anchor. So it's good to see her involved, and also being able to have all aspects of her community involved, from media to just people throughout the community and looking at the support from Southern California Edison for this that particular event. And then also at the break, because they won't be able to see us after this, because we want to make sure we use as much time as possible for these programs. Then we had Hanford, California. And in Hanford, they celebrated a couple of awards. And this is the award booklet that was given out, and I was so intrigued to be able to learn the history about the trailblazers of the awards they gave this evening.
Well, one of them is the Champion Award, and it's, what is meant to be a champion, and
right.
Finding out that she had to overcome so many obstacles to...
Who had to overcome so many obstacles? Paula Massey, right.
has to overcome
okay,
so many...
they don't know what you're talking about,
well,
so...
I'm thinking you're having a picture on there. So she had to overcome so many obstacles with pain and just overcome a lot of obstacles to achieve what she had to achieve, and to be the heart of a champion
right.
is the award.
And what I liked about what they did put in their at the beginning of their Black History Celebration program, and I don't know if people know that, a lot of people know who Rosa Parks is,
yeah.
but individuals may not know who Claudette Colvin is, and she was one of the first people that refused to get off the bus, but she was a teenager.
Well, she did it before Rosa
right,
Parks.
Right, doesn't mean she did it before Rosa Parks, is what I mean.
About 9 months before.
Yeah, so she did that before Rosa Parks, and it's her interesting story, and so I think people should learn their history and learn about everyone, and especially learn about Claudette Colvin. And I like that they put a little bit of history for people to go and research and to learn something new about. And it shows you that there are many people that are fighting for civil rights, and maybe they didn't get recognized. And that's why we have programs like this, so that in the South Valley and in the Central Valley overall, we're able to recognize those trailblazers.
One thing is recognizing the musicians also that was involved. I noticed they had a musician clip in there, recognizing artists such as B.B. King, and looking at little tidbits of their accomplishments as well.
And so the honorees, well, I just wanted to go over the awards before you guys see that here shortly, but these were called the Wanda Williams Hinton Community Service Award honorees. And I like that they gave the history of that award, and they gave the history of actual Wanda Williams and her plight in this community and what she did for Hanford and supporting and trying to make sure that there was a Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King holiday. And so I was really intrigued just to hear that information.
Yeah, a lot of local people here really don't understand what it means to be involved in a community and to be recognized. A lot of times their work has been done and there is no recognition.
And so that's why you need programs like this to be able to honor those folks that aren't trying to get prestige. Yes. They're just doing what they do all the time.
They're just doing because they have a heart and they want to help the community.
And they're doing what they do. Yes. That's what we liked about it. So those three awardees that were able to be honored this evening here in Hanford, California were William Beasley, Brenda Randall, and also Dr. Ernie Smith. And that's what you'll get to enjoy. And this show this morning, seeing those trailblazers from throughout the South Valley. Same thing in, I forgot to say, in the Southern California Edison Awards, we saw that the RHA, they got an award. Yes. You also have the Tulare Historical Society, they got an award and were presented for what they do for the community. And so you'll get to see those honorees as well as the keynote speaker. So after the break, there's so much more. So stay tuned with us. You're watching ONME Sunday Mornings.
about what we want to talk to Mr. Payne about.
Yeah.
So that's
and ironically, everyone can hear that online. I'm just trying to remind you guys of that. So, yeah, that's ironic.
No profanity.
No, there wasn't.
Question.
But people always ask, what is it that we're talking about during the break? Well, now they'll know.
They know.
Now they know. Yeah. If they're watching online, live.
Pathway from a fatherless son to a small-town crack addict to an emancipated 17-year-old traveled through 20 different foster homes. 20 different sets of rules, sets of parents, new dynamics, guardians, but no stability and no family. Through these 20 foster homes, Alonzo faced challenges common to most foster youth. He became a victim of the system. Abused, molested, neglected, shame. Alonzo had whatever love and hope ripped out of him by the age of 9. At that age, Alonzo even thought to himself, would he be better off that I am dead than living? Alonzo did what we frequently see of foster youth, and specifically in my job I see quite often. They went from being a dependent to a delinquent, from a prospect to a suspect. He stole, he committed acts of violence. Alonzo learned to survive by any means necessary. He broke into homes, he attempted to sell drugs, he begged for money on the streets. He did whatever he would need to survive for himself. Alonzo was filled with anger and hopelessness. Alonzo was written off more times than a bad check. He was often told by teachers and guardians, people entrusted, to inspire him that he would be dead or in prison by the age of 18. But listen, when I think of Alonzo's story, I'm wondering, were they wrong? You know, his trajectory, where he was going, I mean, wasn't that where he was supposed to end? In 2013, the Huffington Post wrote an article. I'm sure some of you are aware of this. 1 in 3 black men will be incarcerated in some time in their lifetime. 1 in 3. There's more than 3 in this room. The day Alonzo was born, society wanted to write him off. They wanted to start his book and finish a chapter with incarcerated or dead, close it up and put it on the shelf. A good friend of mine said, the power to define is the power to control. You see, society already has the definition of what a criminal would be. Black, young, fatherless, motherless, feared, unloved, hopelessness, incompetent, prison, or death. That was the definition of it. See, society already had its bias, and all it was waiting for is its confirmation. Alonzo would say that what little opportunity he had was possibly in sports. But as Alonzo said, I felt like a stock owned by the whole block that we all loved and cared because we all owned a share. Alonzo felt like a commodity. He understood I can only bring to you what would make you wealthy, what would make you beneficial. In 8th grade, Alonzo was unloaded into the commodities market again. He got in trouble in school. He robbed a young lady. He was immediately expelled. And instead of being supported by his foster family, they called a CPS social worker. They packed his bags before he got home, and he was out of there. The system was ready to give up on this kid. I'm sure some of us would think, well, he's a criminal. What are we going to do? The social worker was left with little or no options. She was either going to place him in a group home or in a detention center for at-risk youth. So that's almost like a preemie prison. Some of you out there are wondering, well, why couldn't Alonzo just move in with the family, uncles, aunts? Well, let me tell you about the foster care system. The family members that want him couldn't pass a background check. And the family members that did want him, and the family members that could pass a background check, didn't want him in their home. At this point in Alonzo's life, he was following the script that had already been written before he was born. Dead or in prison by the age of 18. But an exceptional thing happened. A family heard of Alonzo's situation and decided to give him the love he deserved. What's interesting about this family is that the mother of this family had known Alonzo since he was 7 years old. Matter of fact, she confronted Alonzo when he was 7 years old. 6 years after Alonzo was calling this place a home, this mother and family was able to break down barriers by asking him a simple yet powerful question. And she asked this: would you like to be a part of our family? Now, to that point, Alonzo had only been asked, do you want to be moved to a family? But to become a part of a family? When society saw a delinquent child not capable of success, this mother only saw her son. Over time, this family gained his trust, his affection. Alonzo excelled with his new family, but it was not without setbacks and failures. What Alonzo learned at this point was very pivotal. Just because I failed does not make me a failure. If I fall down, let me land on my back so I can see my way to get up. Alonzo began to flourish in his high school as a senior. Alonzo began to flourish in his family's home. He went from a 2.0 GPA to a 3.5 in a matter of a year. Alonzo went on to high school. He did well in high school. He went on to graduate, go to college. He went on eventually to go and get a terminal degree. He eventually went on to work for one of the most prestigious institutions in the state of California and become a licensed professional. Now, I know hearing an exceptional story like this of a young foster youth, black kid overcoming insurmountable odds sounds a little daunting. It sounds like, how can you affect this much change in someone's life? Is it possible? I'm sure some of you even think to yourself, some of this is far-fetched, maybe fictional. But I'm sure it's true, because it is my story. I am Tyrone Alonzo Wilson.
And at this time, I would like to welcome John Bergman, First Vice President of the Tulare County Historical Society, to come to the stage and accept the award.
They were able to find an opportunity to bridge the gap where they were experts in their field and they brought us something that we required. So again, thank you. Lisa, I'm going to ask you to come to the stage as well. And it's my great pleasure at this time to give our Community Development Award to Cynthia Bruno, Chief Executive Officer of District Council.
At this time, we're going to have a spoken word coming from a young man I met a few months ago. He's from Baltimore, Maryland. He's going to be with us for a few more months. His name is Dominic Bond, and I would like for him to come and share a word with us.
He was in search for something rare. For so many years, his hunger pain turned into growing pains that kept his dreams still. If only he could break the chains. Listening to Tasha call Break the Chains, he wondered if he could become the change.
Alonzo Cali from 619, moved to Hanford 559. This place is not about it, let me shout it. No city lights, just dusty nights. Foggy days equal phase. This place is a mess, not the best. I don't want to complain, I'm just trying to explain. Day after day, my life is like a play. I'm sent to this place called school where I'm supposed to be talking education. To come home to the question, Michaela, how was your day? I answer, it was fine, I always say. Malcolm X once said, and just because you have schools, colleges, and universities does not mean you have an education. School is not about learning, it is about performing. We were taught to memorize 5 plus 5 equals 10, but won't we teach kids to maybe become the next president? The school system wonders why students are failing, because like votes, the so-called system has us sinking rather than selling. But this is just my opinion, a little something I did in my spare time. I didn't get up here to change anyone's minds. I just wanted to help you realize when the changes start happening, hopefully you won't be surprised.
We would like to recognize the Hanford High School Black Student Union Club on this 27th day of February 2016 for your continued service to the community and your fundraising efforts to benefit your club at the local and the regional level. Thank you.
As far as I can remember, my mom was always concerned about the least of these. I don't know exactly how the Wanda Williams Hinton Service Award came about, but let me give you a brief history of my mom from my perspective. I do know she was a servant with character and lived with certain convictions. She was connected and concerned about the people in her community in which she served, and desired to correct and change certain contrary and controversial social practices that permeated and prevailed in our city. To be quite honest, I used to think my mom was a troublemaker. But you can't make change without making trouble. Somebody say amen. This year's recipients for the Wanda Williams Hinton Community Service Award, we have my friend William Beasley. We talking about William Beasley. Amen. Brenda Randall. And Dr. Ernie Smith.
Oh, yeah.
We want to thank you guys for your service, for your heart of a servant. And serving, what it does, Jesus said, it makes you great. And it is an honor for us to present you with this. And God has smiled on you. You guys keep on serving until you're satisfied. Let's give them a round of applause.
Heart of a champion. What is a champion? You remember me asking you that? Yeah, you did. I asked Paula what did she think was a champion? She said somebody that goes above and beyond what's expected of them and above and beyond what's needed. So heart of a champion. I watch a lot of basketball. My team is Golden State Warriors. I hope they're winning because they're playing tonight.
Oklahoma.
But they always talk about how many championships you got, how many rings and what have you, how many times you've been an all-star. Well, I'll tell you what, Hanford has an all-star. Hanford has a champion. And I can tell you firsthand because I work side by side with him.
Oh, yeah.
You ever heard of a wingman or a wing woman?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a job.
Yeah.
That's a job. But you know what? I have no regrets. Because when she does things, it has to be done with excellence. It has to be done right. Let it go, just do it, just put it. No, it's got to be done right. Oh my God, are you serious? But thank you for always striving for excellence in all that you do. You are appreciated for all your hard work, sacrifices, and dedication and service to the community. Thank you. February 2016. Oh, wow. Heart of the Champion Award. And Yale Queen has some flowers. And she'll put some chickens there. Come on up.
I love wildflowers. Don't ever give me no roses. Wildflowers. And you gotta pick them on the side of the road. I'll take them.
And that finalizes our Black History Month celebration, and also being able to honor people throughout the Central Valley. It was definitely a pleasure being able to feature them on ONME Sunday mornings. From the Trailblazers to the Southern California Edison Black History Celebration, all the way to Hanford. And so we appreciate and celebrate all of you and all of you viewers. Thank you for supporting and being supportive of your community. Meanwhile, if you want to know how to be able to watch us as we take our hiatus break from TV broadcasts, it doesn't stop us from broadcasting online, which you will be able to see us by going to myonme.com. That's myonme.com, and that's where you can find out more information about how to get our daily news bites. 10-minute news bites, ONME News, to let you know what's going throughout the Central Valley. And you can also watch us through the Roku channel.
Oh, so you won't miss us at all. We're going to miss this getting up in the morning, watching us on broadcast.
We'll miss that
our
about
audience right here. But you can always catch us online, and you can wind back, look forward, and look at us at your own time.
Yeah. And we do thank, of course, our CBS 47 and KC24 partners, as well as our supporter, General Manager Matt Rosenfeld. We do appreciate the continued support. And again, we're just taking a brief hiatus. We will be back. In fact, you can see us every day on the ONME News and let you know what's going on throughout the Valley. myonme.com. Meanwhile, until then, have a great week.